All right. Okay. Was this the class that I said um, read like up to page 10? I guess I didn't tell first hour. Not a big deal. I'll say I'll say that to all my classes through this video. Just thought you get a head start just to get a kind of feel for the class. Huh? You do? You watch him. If you see anything illegal on this Chromebook, I need to know right away. Okay? So he's taking notes only. All right. All right. How you doing? Good? Is that how you take notes? Arms folded? All right. You'll move when it's ready. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So the beginning reading just talks about I don't know, patterns and stuff. Like even Braille, when you look at it, it's kind of has a mathematical creation to it. And we know what Braille is. It's someone that's blind. They feel the letters and they know by the coding what letter is what. And I find it fascinating that they can do it fast. And I think they teach that here, right, Mrs. Schmuck? Oh, that's sign language. She doesn't do anything with Braille though. Like for the okay, I thought maybe she did. Okay. Anyway, so all this talks about is numbers in our lives. That and actually, when I taught this for the first time last year, I was stunned how many different things have. They're not just random numbers. There's patterns and reasons behind the coding of numbers. Talking about well, license plates not really coding, but UPC codes, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Social security numbers. How many people drive and have a driver's license? Raise your hand. It's probably most of you. Sorry if you don't, but you'll get it shortly, I'm sure. Um, I only need a couple pieces of information from you, and I will be able to tell you your driver's license number. Isn't that scary? I will hit it spot on unless I make a mistake by the information, or unless you give me false information. I know one of them is like your birth date, and I forgot what some other things were. I'll have to study up on that tonight, and then I'll thrill you with. I'll pick somebody randomly and give me this information. Actually, I can find it on Infinite Campus, the information I need. But I remember, I think it's your birth date, and then a couple other pieces of information, and I'll nail it. And it's weird, and I never knew that until I taught this a year ago to this day. So other things, that's what's off to the right of this that's in the book, and that's why I put that in the notes. Hey, you should just, as of a topic of interest, just kind of read this. Now this book is, this is for the whole year. I think it's from 2004, which is quite a long time ago. So some of these things have changed. Like we're going to talk about social security numbers here in a minute. In 2011, they had to make a little bit of a change to the system because, eventually they're going to run out of numbers. They don't. I just looked up online. They don't reuse social security numbers. When somebody dies, that number dies with them. So at some point, the social security numbers are going to eventually run out. This started, I think it's on the next page, which I'll move the slideshow, in 1935, which I didn't know that. So they didn't have social security numbers before 1935. And even with the system that they have in place, they still have not run out. Eventually they will, though. People keep getting born, and immediately they get a social security number. So at some point, the system will have to change. So this little cutout out of whatever page it is, if you did the reading, talks about the Social Security number system historically. So feel free to read that when I tell you to read up to page 10. Oh, I did hit next. I'm getting worried about how this works here. Okay, it says 3. Taking a minute. Wait for it. Kaboom. All right. Now, at the end, obviously you don't have to take this down, but you do have to have this memorized. All the states and what numbers they have. Can you memorize this? Ha, good. See, she left. I'll be here all week. Thank you. All right. But what I did highlight, so if this is on a test, we'll give you a cheat sheet, and this would be one of the things. There will be. When we have a quiz and I ask you something about a social security number, you'll have this in front of you. It's Mickey Mouse. Very simple start to the class. But I highlighted off to the side, the Illinois, the first 3 digits, is the area or the state that you're born in. All right? My first 3 digits is 332. I'm happy to share that. The next 6 I won't, but mine's 332, between 318 and 361. Everyone born in Illinois here, raise your hand. Some may not. Is your number between 318 and 361? Wait, how many people know their social security number? Raise your hand. Okay, isn't it between 318 and 361, right? So the first three numbers are where you're born, the states. Okay, then I don't care about this, but I thought I'd share it just to say that there's not just a randomness. There is a little bit of meaning. The most meaning's in the first three numbers. Then the next two numbers, it's just a random thing that someone decided. So let's go back to Illinois. The first person in Illinois was 318, I would assume, because we start with the beginning number, what denotes Illinois. The next two numbers would have been 01, because that's the first set of middle numbers assigned. And then the last four numbers are between 0001 all the way to 9999. So let's go back. First person in Illinois, 318, 01, 0001. Then the next person probably would have been 318. Then they probably changed the middle number, 03, then 0001. So the next people, you changed maybe the middle number. Then after that, you go back to 318, 01, 0002. Right? And that would be different than the first person that we assigned. So on and so on and so forth. So I think you can imagine that there's a lot of different Illinois Social Security numbers that can be assigned, through that progression. When they run out, things will probably have to change. I just looked online today. Some ideas that might happen is they just might add a digit to the end for people that are born a little bit later. Instead of what is it, 33? I'm sorry, I almost said my Social Security number, and then people could steal my identity. But 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 digits right now. When they run out, maybe they'll make new people 10 digits long for the Social Security number, and that will denote a certain time when they were born as well. So, to recap. Oh, this takes so long. I hit next. I think it's going. I love new computers. Every year, the tech department likes to throw curveballs at us, and we're going to go through these new issues. Okay, so this is probably the first thing that you write down. I will hold you to task. All right, let's come on. What's the relationship here? I'm the teacher, you're the student, right? And teachers give you stuff and then say, okay, you have to spit it back at me and memorize this. So we have a game going on here. This is the first thing that I'll hold you to task. You don't have to have the states memorize what the numbers are. You just have to know what the how a Social Security number is figured out, I guess. I called it an algorithm. An algorithm, to me, implies a formula. It's not really a formula. It's a way that they assign Social Security numbers, so I just used the term algorithm. The most important one is the state of issue, the first three numbers. Probably the only thing you have to know about this. I'm not going to make you know how they assign the next two numbers and then the last four. Kind of silly. All right, so the first three numbers are the area number, state of issue, and it's from table 1.1 on page 4 if you open up your book or do it online. Next ones are just randomly generated numbers with a bit of a pattern. So the group number in the middle is assigned weird. The first one is 01, the next one's 03, the next one's 05. Then I already forgot from the table what the next after they get up to 9, but you can see that on that page number or table 1.2. Then the last ones are assigned in order 0001, 0002, so on and so on and so forth, all the way up to 99999. Going back to that Illinois one, once they do all the 318s, and then use up all the middle numbers and all of the last four digits, all the way from 0001 to 99999. I don't know if I did too many nines there. Then they move on to 319. So the first Illinois people were given 318s, 01, 0001. Once they exhaust all those middle and last numbers, then they move on to 319, then 320, and so on and so forth. Okay. Be interested to see. Does anyone know the first three numbers? What did it say? It went up to 36 something, 361. Whisper your first three numbers. You know your first three numbers? What are they? What is it? 319. That's weird. What is it? But you said 319. I would think that would have been used up. You know what I mean? See, 360 makes more sense because you're, younger, so you would think you'd be in the 36. I don't know. It's very random. Like I said, I'm 332, which I don't know. Who knows? Okay. All right, and then just to know that there's other codes out there, we're almost done. This is like a Mickey Mouse beginning day. Just to give you the idea that things aren't random out there. Um, ISBN, an International Standard Book Number, going to MIS. Now, this may be a little bit old, maybe a little bit different at this point. We're just assigning the idea that there's not a randomness to this. When a librarian or an MIS worker, I don't know what to say anymore. If they get offended, I call it a library. They know what these numbers mean. These numbers in each position have a meaning. I won't hold you to task on that. That won't be part of our game. Not really that important. But if you become, working in a library, then you would have to learn this, I'm sure. What does each position mean? UPC we will do. Again, part of the game. Tomorrow we'll talk about how the UPC code is organized, what each part of the number means. Today, just going to throw it out there that it does have a meaning. Tomorrow we'll do the math of it. Universal product code. And like I say, each position, and you can find out in your reading if you move, I think, a little bit past page 10. I said stop in the middle, but if you wanted to read about what we're going to do tomorrow, go a little bit further. There's a meaning in each position of these numbers. Okay, and then, write what you want. It's not really a big deal. This is just to give you an idea. And of course, a lot of people have a vehicle in here. You have a crazy VIN number. It is crazy because it is quite lengthy. Each position probably does have a meaning. I don't know what, and we're not going to have to know this either, but I don't know if you can only have letters in the first three positions. Let's pretend you could have letters or numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 numbers in this VIN number. So when you go to like a UPC code and you can only use numbers in each position, there's only 10 digits. So if that UPC code is, I don't want to count, let's say it's 13 digits long. That means each position could have 10 numbers, right? So there's 10 raised to the 13th power, because there's 13 positions, possible UPC codes. As opposed to a VIN number, there's 10 numbers and 26 letters. That means there's 36 possibilities in each 13 positions. That's 36 to the 13th power different VIN numbers you could have. Where I'm getting that from is there's 36 possibilities in blank 1, 36 in blank 2, and by simple probability, you just multiply 36 times 36 times 36 all the way 13 times to find out how many possible numbers. If you type 36 to the 13th on your... Someone do that. Someone have a calculator? Look at, she's excited. Bam! Like a math ninja. Hi-ya! She got that calculator out immediately. What's 36 to the 13th? Does it go overload or does it give you a number?
1.7.
What is that? E times 10 to the 20th power. That means 20. It's a lot. So my point being, you would never probably run out of possible VIN numbers. You wouldn't end up having repeats. So blah, 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 blah. Okay, last but not least, I think this is the last page. Very simple definitions. This is like Mickey Mouse. I'm embarrassed I'm even sharing this with you. Okay, obviously you could have just a numeric set of ID numbers. That was the UPC code, or a social security number because you can't use letters. So, string of digits, that's a social security number. That's called a numeric. Very simple. Then the term, I doubt we'll have a problem with this, alphanumeric. That was the VIN number. You could use both letters and numbers. Big whippity-doo-dah. Little side note, each number, letter, or symbol is called a character. So going back to that VIN number, I said 13 numbers or letters. Actually, we could just say 13 characters. Then the length of ID is the number of characters. So again, that VIN number was 13 characters. No big deal. Next, this is some of the most common errors that you would run into. Now, the true math that we're going to do, we have a couple things in Chapter 1 where you're going to actually have to multiply, add, solve an equation. Very basic. I did tell you The most you're going to do up till December is add, subtract, multiply, and divide. That's it. There's no logarithms, no square roots, no crazy stuff. Very simple math that we have to do. And the reason I'm bringing that up is when we talk about how many people have a credit card, which I'm amazed by. Okay, how many people with that credit card has bought something online and had to type it? Raise your hand. Okay. What you're going to find interesting, I found out last year, almost a year to this day, that how many people tried to buy something online and you made a mistake and you got an error back? Anyone? It's happened to me. There's a reason. It's not because your name is George and George should have this credit card number and then they weren't compatible. It has nothing to do with that. I found out last year. There is something that's called a check digit in your credit card. And each credit card company has a different way to verify that a MasterCard can only be this number, and if someone makes an error, it will catch it right away on the internet. Fascinating, right? And that's some of the math we're going to do, doing check digits. The reason is the most two common human errors. The first one's very simple. You typed the wrong number instead of another one. So my credit card's 1234, and I type in 1235. Obviously, that's Mickey Mouse. Of course, humans do that. Because of a check digit in there, the computer will analyze that, hey, a MasterCard cannot be this number. You've done something wrong. The other one, actually, I could associate with having dyslexia, which I have a little dyslexia. A lot of times I switch things. I switch them and move them around. And it's just a common human error, not just someone that is identified as having dyslexia. So say your social security number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You try to type that on the computer and you accidentally do 5, 4 instead of 4, 5. Here's your term. Can everyone say transposing? No, someone said no. I love it. Good start to the year. Is that you? Is he taking notes? Okay. This is your. If he's not, you're in just as much trouble as he is. Okay. All right. So transposing error. Switching the digits. So when we talk about the check digits and all that, the check digits of specifically for like a MasterCard would catch a transposing error because of where the check digit is. Okay, and then I'm going to end with this. I'll probably freeze the screen for anyone that's still writing. Officially, read at least, you could read before that, the little introductory and the historical figures. I will put them up throughout the year because it is interesting. Some people I knew their names, but I didn't know really what they did in other aspects of their lives. But at least start from 6 to 10. Give yourself an idea what this book's about, the weird math that we're going to cover. Up to UPC codes and how they are created. We are going to go over that tomorrow, but I just want you to get a feel for it. Stop if you like right at the UPC check digit scheme in the middle of page 10, or if you want to keep going just to get a feel of what is a check digit, it kind of goes through that. Take note of the professor and how he uses check digits for his class so that you get the idea of what we're going to do tomorrow. And then UPC codes, we are going to hold you to task on that, knowing how those are organized, what each part of the number means. So if you read ahead of it, and then I actually cover it tomorrow, you'll have, a good frame of reference. Okay? Now, go online, go on the calendar. The worksheet is so ridiculously small, I didn't print it. Actually, I forgot to print it. But then I looked at it, I'm like, why would I print this sheet? Because all you have to do is treat it like it's a book assignment. What would you do with the book assignment, like I said yesterday? You'd open up the book, read the question. I have to do number 1. You put number 1 on your paper and answer it, right? Right? Okay, it's a very short assignment. Little, just get you warmed up for the year.